Hello the English speakers and welcome to one of many oaks here in Houston where they don't grow, they say, and the blue spruce, native to the Rocky Mountains. Today we'll talk about war because it's Thursday, and we'll talk about some culture war also, some interesting blind spot you might have about Swedish so-called culture. But let's start by taking a big deep breath. So there is still a storm going on up there in space, which we can't see. So you might still see auroras in if it's night where you are. It's ongoing, so we'll see. I will probably not see much, but you can. They saw it all the way down to Florida and even more south, but north in Australia. They got it at very close to the equator actually, or pretty close at least. So that's weird. The New York Post, Jewish-owned Zionist New York Post, they have now confirmed that it is a genocide. Totally, they have definitive proof. And if you think I'm talking about Gaza, then you don't know what a Jewish Zionist is. No, they have definitive proof of that the Iranian regime are genociding. They have burnt peaceful protesters to death. So the regime has burnt very peaceful, obviously very peaceful demonstrators have been burned to death. And the evidence, you're not going to believe this. This is totally unrefutable. It's the definitive proof that you have been waiting for. They have shown a pile of shoes. Yes, really. New York Post, Zionist Jewish New York Post. They have the evidence and the proof, and that's a pile of shoes. I thought they could have, come up with a new plan the last 80 years, but of course not. So here in Sweden, a Jewish Zionist, and well, all of them, they are exactly the same. They lie in the same way. Jano, I even hugged her once because, well, she was against vaccine mandates, or she pretended to be. But now, of course, she is supporting murdering innocent children in Gaza, and she is really concerned about all the crimes that Iran is doing, because she wants to turn entire Iran into a smoking ruin. Also, she doesn't say that because she's a lying Jew, and she is upset that Swedish TV doesn't report on this irrefutable evidence of the pile of shoes. So that's how they do, all of them, except, Glenn Greenwald, etc. But this behavior should be known. Google AI is having some problems with people like, for example, me. So I asked it about all these vaccines that make people less sick of all causes, and all these studies that they have done to prove that the vaccine, after this injection, you get more healthy. And of course that result in that the AI simply refused to answer. So instead of saying, yeah, here are the studies, or saying that no, all vaccines will increase your general mortality, but it can't say that either because there is a censorship manual block on it. So it's basically proving, you can try it yourself in wording it other ways, but yeah, Google AI has proven that it is manipulated, and still by not saying what I'm asking for and just refusing, it proves that I'm totally correct, which of course I already know. On the censorship platform that illegally deleted me and illegally stole money from me after deleting me, if you still can post there, this is very interesting for you. And these algorithm that they are using on X. They use similar stuff on other platforms, even though not exactly. So if you are a verified user like me, but not deleted, then you get your posts are getting a boost from that. And if you are following way more people that are following you, you get punished for that, and fewer will see all your posts. And if you are censored by X, if you are restricted, then your posts will also be seen less. And the important thing to understand is that most sites, and especially X in this case, they are showing your post to random people that don't even follow you. And if those people really like what you're writing, then it will be shown more to similar people like that. But otherwise, if all your followers that have seen your post, if they don't interact with it at all, then your post will basically die, and no one will see it unless they go to your page or watch every post that's done. So you need something that instantly trigger everyone to like and reply, especially if someone replies on your post and you reply to them. Then you get a huge boost, 75. And if someone just replies to you, you get 13.5. Compared to if you have a discussion with someone, then it's suddenly 75. And one reply, 13.5. If someone goes to your profile after reading what you have posted, you get a boost of 12. If someone reposts your post, you only get 1. So compare 1 with 75 that you get as a boost if someone is replying to you when you reply back to the reply. And if someone presses like, you only get half a point. And it turns out that if you have videos and people are watching the video, that doesn't matter much at all. It doesn't boost the post. So let's talk about Swedish culture. ABBA, have you heard? For example, The Dancing Queen, only 17. That's pretty much satanic and not very wholesome song, to say the least, but it's not obviously satanic. So it's what we in Swedish call lagom satanic. So that means that it's moderate kind of satanism, and we do that in Sweden. That's generally in the the entertainment business. It's not as sick as Hollywood, but it's also half sick or something. And another song is Gimme Gimme, A Man After Midnight. That's of course weird also. And you have Money Money, about a girl that is dreaming about a rich man, which is a little bit not so wholesome, one could think. But here in Sweden we have also half forbidden OnlyFans. So you can still produce content for OnlyFans, but you can't pay to OnlyFans from Sweden. So the feminists in Sweden, they didn't realize that this was antiseptic to forbid the Jewish platform, but they accidentally did that half a year ago. And when it comes to ABBA, they had a singer, Annifrid. So she's called Frida. She was born in Norway. And if you want to be fearful of Norwegian communists, she is a good example. Her father was a German soldier, so she had to flee Norway in fear of the communists in Norway that of course saw her as a traitor for their communist reasons. So that's a little bit that you might not have heard. I saw an interesting image that says that a lot of things that we thought were safe were not so safe, like fluoride and Teflon. If you use Teflon, stop doing that. you actually get flu-like symptoms if you burn stuff in a Teflon thing. And pesticides are of course very bad for you, and seed oils, and talc baby powder. I have not heard about that, but this talc is not good, according to this image. Look into that if you use that sort of thing. I was commenting about the National Socialist leadership, and if you look at three of them, like Hitler, he came from the trenches in the war, and he had the background in painting, etc. He was very different than Himmler, who spent a lot of time reading ancient texts and stuff like that, digging into pre-Christian religions, etc. And then you had Goebbels, who read a lot of Jewish books about propaganda. So you might not think about that the first thing you think of, but I think that Himmler is the most interesting of them, actually, regardless of what you think about these people. Goebbels is actually quite boring. He's just a bad version of the Jewish propaganda that he was learning about. And I presented a list of the smartest National Socialist leadership from Nuremberg. And Hermann Göring is the only one I actually know about there. And he, of course, was the head of Luftwaffe, and he got executed for the war crimes that UK and USA did against the German cities that they holocausted. So yeah, he got executed for the Allies' crimes, of course. The Jews like to do that. Or some Jews, I should say, specify. Don't say anything racist. Say Jews, not all the Jews, of course. So that's a tractor car that smells like shit and sounds like shit. Cyprus, they should be more aware. There are now reports about Jews that are stockpiling military equipment on Cyprus, and the Jews are of course saying that the Turks will attack the Greek part of Cyprus because they want Goyim to slaughter each other so that they then can take over. Damn it, it smells horrible here after the car was burning its fuel very badly. Blech. For once I want some wind here. So yeah, be careful, Cyprus, and deport all Israelis, of course. There were also 3 Russian suicides on the Russian embassy in Cyprus, so that's also suspicious. The Kurds have lost the biggest oil field in Syria. So that's not so good for them. So it seems like Yulani is getting all of Syria together. That might not be very good for Israel, one suspects. So all of these so-called allies to Israel seems to grow some balls a little bit. Not much, but enough to not be trusted by Israel, I think. Ian Carroll is doing a post that you should not take out of context, so I take it out of context, so don't trust me on this one. But he says that the Republicans, they should end their love of Jewish money, and he also says that Jews will turn on you, just like Nixon said, accidentally recorded, that the Jews are the worst and you can never trust them and they always backstab you, which is true. And as soon as the Jews get the Democrats in, they will of course support the Democrats that lock all Republicans up, unless they are rhinos that serve the Jew. There was a small Israeli food chain in Belgium. It's closed now because everyone hates the Zionists. So too bad for them. And it seems like boycotting works. And of course, you don't have to sacrifice anything when you boycott. Maybe your butt plugs. Buy some other butt plugs if you really need such thing. Then from the rabbi. And otherwise they sell vaccines and criminal stuff. So you can avoid those things. And you can use other financial services also. Nick Sortor, he was trying to report from Minneapolis, and some Somalis stole his camera and even drive the car onto him, sort of. I didn't understand exactly what happened, but very bad behavior. But if those Somalis would have been IDF soldiers and Nick Sortor was trying to report from Gaza, then they would have blown him into pieces and then dressed him up in a suicide vest, and then they would have called him Hamas in all media across the globe. So that's the difference between IDF and Somalis, and different bad behavior from these groups. Good to have it in a perspective. X was censoring John Bray, so he has been working a lot and very slowly. He's a busy man, but he has been working on the exploding mic, or actually the Rode Wireless Pro transmitter that he thinks that he have seen the shrapnels of, and he thinks that one part of that was hitting Charlie Kirk here. And the post about that and how everything in the moving t-shirt, etc., fits with that shape chart from this Pro transmitter fits. And X locked his account and deleted that post. So then you know that there might be more to this theory, as it's censored. That's how I think, at least. I was commenting Sarah, and she is talking about how horrible the Iranian regime is, and you can argue with that. I didn't. I think that the most important thing is to not forget about the Israelis. Of course, this brutal genocidal dictator Netanyahu needs to be deported, and even Miriam Adelson, she hates Sarah. Not the Sarah I was commenting, actually, but Sarah Netanyahu. And UN, for the love of the Israeli people, should sanction and lock out the Israeli regime, and then crippling sanctions for the love of the Israeli people, of course, and then a no-fly zone to help the Israelis by bombing them. If you are against this, you are anti-Semitic. End of story. If you are against this ousting of Netanyahu, you are anti-Semitic. You don't stand on the side of Israel. Of course, I can't do this serious, but it would be really fun if someone could and never lose, lose character and do this as serious as some are trying to do when they are pretending to care about the Iranian people, which of course they only care about genociding them. But Israel has attacked UN. Ben Gvir is bragging about the destruction of UNRWA, the headquarters. So not only did they close it down, they have to destroy it because they worship Satan. So they can't take over the house and, use it for something else. No, they have to destroy it because it's in their religion to destroy. That's how it looks like. Of course, you know what UN did in response. Yes, they were writing a strongly worded letter. That's what UN does, instead of, expelling them from UN and declaring them an illegal state that should be neutralized. Josh Shapiro, governor in USA, he was an IDF volunteer. But another Josh Gottheimer, he's a representative from New Jersey, neighboring state. And Josh Gottheimer says that all criticism of Josh Shapiro is, of course, antiseptic. So that's how they do it, and we hate them more for every day. And they should not be anywhere close to any government, especially not the Israeli. So what are Israelis taught in school? They are taught that Palestinians don't exist, because that makes sense nowhere. But yeah, they are brainwashed to be really evil and genocidal. And I will remind you, if you read this text, there is only one word to use, and that's hafrada, about their system of Jewish supremacy. It's not called anything else. The separation and Jewish supremacy system in Israel is called hafrada, not anything that reminds you about another country that speaks Afrikaans. Marcus Ljunggren wrote what I have been saying a long time about Trump's, pragmatic geopolitics and people who are freaking out due to it. Trump is just doing what all leaders do, and that is, well, expanding the superpowers' reach and stealing Venezuela's stuff and stealing their president even, and the same with the bullying of Greenland. It has nothing to do with Trump being a megalomaniac. Maybe he is, but this is what any superpower would have done, except if you are something like European Union that don't have any leaders at all. So they are following some unholy narrative, and they are totally not capable of doing anything more. They are like UN. They can write a strongly worded message, and they will not even support Iran killing Mossad agents to get USA to do what they want. I assume the fake news I talked about before, that was really interesting to be fake news. And EU has no plan whatsoever about anything, actually. So that's the sad state of affair. If you are a Greenlander from the, the non-Scandinavian population on Greenland, if you start digging up all the crimes that the Danish doctors and others have done to your people, then you will get your children sold into Jewish slavery. It's not the time to bring up all this evil stuff. And the evil that has been done to the Greenlandic so-called native population, they are not native, I come to that. But they have done the same with Swedes and Danish people, that they have been trying to do some racial hygiene on them and sterilized people without asking them for permission. So that's something that they have done a lot. And the Vikings were on Greenland before the Eskimos or Inuits, I don't know exactly what they are. But the Vikings did live for a couple of 100 years, and the more nomadic people, they did stay there. But I'm quite pissed that we Scandinavians, or any Europeans actually, are not called natives. We are very much native here. There have not been any Sami here, not even this pretty much north up. Yeah, I don't accept that, and this is not the time to start a war against the Danes also. Then you will go straight into the trap of the Jewish imperialists. I had my name's day yesterday, and I thought that was a very Swedish thing. It's actually a very Greek thing. Greeks are the ones who are most obsessed by celebrating their names somehow. But I don't have a similar name in Greek. So Henrik, I have to celebrate on the 7th of June together with all wrongly named Greeks. They don't have their names day, so you have to celebrate on All Saints Day. So I'm, as I have a strange name, I'm obviously some sort of saint in Greek. So that's the 7th of June this year. Of course it moves around, so they don't have their names day on same day every year. That's really complicated and weird. And with that, look out for auroras. And my mother comes home from the hospital in a wheelchair tomorrow. We'll see how long she will stay in the wheelchair, but it's going in the right direction, I hope. But with that, see you again, and welcome all new followers. Here you see the water tower that is not used anymore, but you can climb up in it, and it's free. You just have to ask for a key in the city hall.